अब क्या कर सकता है? A person like you should die. So I was telling Swami, Swami, I have come to die. I want to die at your feet, Swami. I didn't come to ask you for life. सूरदास को मिले कन्हैया, शबरी को रघुराई राम, इसी तरह से मिले हैं हमको Sai Ram, Sai Ram. One never knows when Bhagavan really comes into your life, or is it brings you into his beautiful domain. It's really perplexing. I was just a student in the 9th grade in Kalimpong subdivision of the Darjeeling district. I was studying in a school called Kumudini Homes, and I used to be extremely hyper mischievous. My teachers gave up on me once and said that you are beyond redemption. When I was in class 10, I learned how to smoke. Far away from home, I did everything that my independence, my freedom would give me. But then, once in a while, I would listen to bhajans happening early in the morning, in the wee little hours of the morning. There would be Nagar Sankirtan happening. I was staying plumb in the middle of the town, and I would hear this beautiful melodious singing that would really attract me, and I wanted to go and join them. Despite all my misgivings about so many things, I thought I should go and join in the beautiful melody in the morning. And once when I just went there, the wind had actually wafted away the sound to the other direction. So I went on a wild goose chase and I was in the wrong place. But maybe these are the early memories of the attraction, the fatal attraction. And then I was into playing dholak or harmonium instruments. And my peers, my seniors would tell me, why don't you come and join us in the bhajan? And I could just show them some of my nakhra and tell them that, okay, let me finish this cigarette and come. The feel was so strong that I am not, one among you. So that used to really be a very winning point for me. I used to feel that I am so strong. I am not a part of them, but they rely on me. So I would just go there and play, and the melody, the bhajans were so beautiful. Some of the most beautiful bhajans that I learned at that point of time, Deva Devota Dina Samrakshaka. These bhajans. Itni beautiful bhajans hai. And having learned some of those bhajans, off and on, when I would go home, one day my mother told me that she was a school teacher. She had gone to one of her friend's house where there was vibhuti oozing out of a picture. So she went there, and when she came home, she had a bhajan book with her, with Swami's picture on it. It was a very smudged picture. But the moment I saw the book and saw Swami's picture, again I fell back on those days, my interest with bhajans, the pictures that I had seen there. And everything became so beautiful. Like for me, at that point of time when my mother told me that vibhuti was coming out of that picture in that house, I said, he must be God. And then that evening, my eldest sister, she also had a vision of Swami just passing by our house in our compound. So she said that I saw Swami just now. Now that really compounded the whole thing. Then I became his devotee. And then the first time a group of people, experts from Darjeeling, came to Sikkim to teach us how to sing bhajan. So when that was happening, we thought that we would install Swami's picture. We are very orthodox Buddhists and we don't accept any other god or goddess. Brahma, Indra, they are subsidiaries of Buddha, according to them. So when we installed, I found a picture of Bhagavan in the market and installed the picture. And being Buddhists, we were a kingdom at that time. And Sikkim was a Buddhist kingdom. And we were afraid to sing, bhajans on Krishna, Rama, because for fear that some people would go and inform the king of Sikkim, and we would be penalized for it. So the first day we had bhajan in our shrine. The bhajan was Manasa Bhajari, the first bhajan that we had learned in Sikkim. And we just whispered it out. Manasa Bhajari. And right in front of my eyes, Baba's picture just broke out and there was a huge stream of Amritam. And it was such a beautiful experience, you can't imagine. We were we were taken straight to Prashanti Nilayam, near Bhagavan. We felt Bhagavan's presence so strong. And after that, there was no looking back. At 16, I lost my father. And when that happened, I knew that I had made him suffer a lot by smoking, but by being disobedient, by so many things. So when he really left us, I thought that, I became very penitent and I became very sick. And for 10 full months, I couldn't breathe properly. And doctors told me that I had bronchial asthma and I wouldn't sing at all. That singing was out of question. I couldn't breathe properly. So I thought that I was slowly dying. So I told my mother, why not go to Puttaparthi? It's good to die at his feet. At least I can pray to him. Then we came to Puttaparthi for the first time. Year was 1977. And when we came to Prashanti Nilayam, I'll just describe a little bit about Prashanti Nilayam at that time. The moment reaching Prashanti Nilayam was the most Herculean task. Like it was almost like going into space. Because we didn't, for the first time, we were venturing out of Sikkim. That was one thing. Then the way, the arduous, journey from Bangalore to Prashanti Nilayam itself was a total sightseeing of so many villages and SRS bus service from Kalasapaliyam bus stand, and ultimately we landed in Puttaparthi. And we just entered the ashram. The moment we entered there was a deafening silence. Pin drop silence. And I was the only person shouting, my voice, though it was not many decibels, but still it could be heard. To the extent that somebody from there used to be a Ganesh shed there, on the left side, the moment you enter there. Somebody came out and said, shh, you are making a lot of noise. He was a person from Darjeeling, a devotee who had been sitting there and listening to hearing my Nepali. He must have thought that somebody from my place needs some help. So he just came out and said, what do you want? So I said, we are new here. We want accommodation. We went straight to the accommodation office. And the moment we went there, we were greeted by a smiling man. And he said that, how many days you want to stay? I told him, 1 month, sir. Only 1 month. You have come to God's place. You should stay for 3 months. And then we were given a nice room in West Prashanti 3. We washed, freshened up, went to the canteen for food, for tea and some snacks. Then we just walked very leisurely into the mandir, through the main gate. No one to stop us, no one to tell us anything. We could just go and sit anywhere you like. So I just selected some spot underneath one tree and sat there. And after some time, Swami came out. That was my first darshan of Bhagavan, physically. And he was so beautiful, so young, so much God, that aura around him. was beautiful. After the darshan, we could just walk in. Anyone could go inside the mandir. Because I had a tape recorder to record the bhajans, I took the last seat at the back of the hall, near the Gitopdesh. I sat there. And then I closed my eyes and visualized the whole scenario was like a page taken out of the Ayodhya and a page taken out of Ramayana in Sri Ramchandraji's, because those were the descriptions I had read here and there. That, the throne, the court of Sri Rama, and then Mrs. Bhajan Vijaya. Later on I came to know that her name was Vijaya. She started a beautiful recital of the Veena to the accompaniment of Khanjira, played by her sister, and Tanpura by her mother. 3 of them. For almost 45 minutes it was a beautiful rendition. And the feel was so tremendous. Pin drop silence, only the sound of music and sparrows and birds chirping. And then after some time the bhajan started. The moment bhajan started, Swami just walked in and ascended the throne. And the first bhajan that day was this one. This was the first bhajan. And no playing of harmonium, it was just a shruti. This is how bhajan started. And no microphones. None of the sophistications that you see today in our bhajans. Just the harmonium, shruti, sapasa. And then she sang that bhajan. And the second bhajan, I still remember the entire bhajan in a chronological order. And that day, that was my first realization in retrospect when I look at it. When the bhajan session is so beautiful, people who are participating in the bhajan, they remember every bhajan. They don't have to learn the bhajan again. That first experience itself is a very fulfilling experience. The first bhajan to last bhajan I remember even today. All the bhajans that were sung for 2.5 hours. And Swami just was sitting there and I felt, oh, he looks so nonchalant. So much involved, at the same time so completely engrossed in something else. He was just, he would once in a while give a wistful look at the devotees. Then all the time he was doing this, shaking his, waving his hand. And then the whole thing looked so beautiful. And Swami would once in a while look at us. And that was my first day experience of Bhagavan looking directly into your eyes. I am sitting right at the back. And later on there were so many people who told me that Swami looked into my eyes also. Only God can do that, I felt that day. Only Bhagavan, only God can look into, give a sweeping glance at everyone and make everyone there feel one-to-one with him, that I had an eye contact with him. Humanly it's not possible. Even the greatest of saints can interact only with one person, one individual at a time. Only God can be everywhere with everyone at the same time. That was the first feel that I had. What a beautiful divine experience it was. And the next day happened to be New Year's Day. And Swami called us in for interview. Sitting right underneath the trees there out in the open. No sophistication. Once in a while you would be disturbed by some monkeys. And then, those beautiful trees, and no one felt that heat also. And when Swami called us right in, I was very sick. And Swami was telling, Kya ho gaya tumko? I said, Swami, I can't breathe properly. Swami said, I gave you a good life. You misused it. I give you, he was telling me in Hindi. He said, Jawani diya. I gave you youth. You have abused that also. Misused everything. Ab kya kar sakta hai? A person like you should die. So I was telling Swami, I have come to die. I want to die at your feet, Swami. I didn't come to ask you for life. What's the point in living like this? I was a mere skeleton, 30, maybe hardly 30 kilos. Just bones and nothing. Then I told Swami that, Swami, I have come to die at your feet. Then I said, Swami, when I die, please let me be reborn in the same household, so that I can this time I should be able to be of good service to my parents. My father, I have done tremendous disservice to him. I was telling that between, I couldn't breathe properly and I was panting all the time. And Swami just embraced me and he said, you should not die. You have to live. All this was happening in Hindi. And then he created Vibhuti, asked me to open two of my buttons here on my shirt, and then slapped the Vibhuti. I used the word slap. He slapped it on my chest and said, breathe. Very vigorously, he told me. 3 times I did that. He said, "Theek ho gaya." For the first time after 10 months, I took in the full breath. 3 times I did that. Swami said, you are healed now. Ab kya? Then it was in my heart, Swami, I want to study in your college. And when I was telling him that, I was feeling in my heart, I want to study in your college, Swami. And very loudly he said, हाँ आ सकता है, देता है. You can come, I'll give you admission. Then he told my mother, send him in June, I'll give him admission. When I joined Brindavan, the situation that brought me to Brindavan was fantastic. There used to be a summer course in Brindavan. Later on, the discourses of Bhagavan were compiled into beautiful books called Summer Showers in Brindavan. And during the summer course, that year, 1978, I was there with the hope that I would also be a student during the summer course. And it used to be a pan-India, pan-country, like pan-Indian summer course. Students would come from all different states of India, not necessarily Sai students from Swami's university, because the university didn't exist then. But then the students would come there, and then Swami would give discourses every day. So my job was to run after Swami's car. So the moment I would see Swami's car, approaching, I would be just ready and I would brace myself to run after his car. And then the moment Swami would enter the auditorium in Brindavan, I would go on the other side and be the first person to sit on the, on that, near the door, the left flank of the stage. There used to be a door, and I used to sit there outside waiting. And in the evening, when Swami would be giving discourses, exactly at that time, the sky would be crimson, the twilight, and then the evening twilight in Brindavan and Swami's discourse, the whole scenario used to be so divine. And then after this, during the summer course, because I had come with a very small budget, so I looked for the cheapest house that I could find. So I went to Sigahalli, and there I found a house for which the rent was just, I was paying 1 rupee per day. Per day it was 1 rupee, 30 rupees per day. You can well imagine what must have been the house. It was a hut with a skylight, and the moment there would be a strong breeze, so many, bugs and whatever would fall on me at night. And for morning ablutions, you had to go into the jungle. So it had better be in the, before the break of dawn. And then from water you had to draw out of the well and take bath. And then I would hurry to the mandir. So I didn't get admission in the summer course. So I was running after Swami's car. And one lady from Sikkim, she came with her friend, with her son. And she wanted her son to study in Swami's college. By the time, because I had already joined the college in Sikkim, I had lost hope of, getting admission in Swami's college. So I had just come away from Sikkim. And though the examination in Sikkim was round the bend, I just left it because the attraction of Brindavan during summer course was so strong, because I had already experienced it before the previous year. So I wanted to be there during the summer course. So I didn't write the examination. I just came off. But I couldn't care about a worldly academic career or whatever at that point of time. It was all Swami. So this lady, she told me that, why don't you also seek admission? I said, you must be joking. I already tried and Swami sent me back. So when she told me, why don't you also apply? I said, I didn't bring my credentials, my papers. How can I apply? Because I was already into college. So she said, that can wait, you can bring those things later on. Why don't you just fill the form? Because the main idea was she wanted me to study there and accompany her son also, who was my age. And her son was again a ruffian from Sikkim. He could beat up anyone, very strong. He is a chief engineer in the power sector in Sikkim now. So I just went and filled the application. And then I told them that I don't have my papers, my certificates, nothing with me. So there used to be one gentleman everyone used to call him brother. So brother-oo or brother. So brother told me that no problem at all, you can just apply and then there's going to be an interview. You have to get through the interview first. So I went back to my room to keep my tape recorder and my camera. So I had just come from Sikkim, on a day's notice. I just told my mother that tomorrow I am leaving. This is how I had come. So I had not brought anything, just 2 pairs of clothes and nothing. And I just kept my, I just opened my suitcase to keep the camera and my tape recorder. And right on top of my clothes and everything, there was a brown folder. I knew that I had not brought that folder with me. I had just my clothes and my toiletry, and I just opened the brown folder. Needless to say, all my papers were there. I knew that I had already been given admission. So we went back and we were interviewed by Mr. E. Sudarshan, Dr. E. Sudarshan and Dr. Lakshmi Narasimhan. We used to refer to them as the hard man and the soft man. And then it was a beautiful interview. I got through the interview. Then they gave me 15 days to go and get my luggage from Sikkim. Then I went home, brought my luggage, and this is how I got admission.